I'm making this video to explain the basics of the lighting that we've fitted here, so in case anything goes wrong you may be able to rectify it. If not, just get in touch with us. It's a 12 volt LED strip light system. All the connectors from the lights behind the lips come down and through that hole there, and then they plug into these two big boxes that have the A light on. Those are the drivers, so they power everything. En route between the driver and the lights themselves are these receivers, so that they're radio receivers. They only need to be there to work alongside this remote control. Now when we set this all up, we paired the receivers with the remote by pressing these little buttons. You can hardly see them, but you'll see when you look. So you press that button until it flashes, and then whilst it's flashing you press C1 and C2 together, and then when the light on there stops flashing it's been paired. And I believe it works to do one at a time, if for any reason they ever unpair. Now the way this is wired up, you see you've got your C1, C2, C3, C4, etc. That corresponds to the outputs, which if that focuses you can see the C numbers. So those are going out to the strip lights. Now you've got continuous strip lights, long ones along these long shelves go into a wire. They connect to C1. And these short ones as well, that's a continuous strip. Then there's a wire that connects also to C1 on the other receiver. So what you've actually got is the two upper strips and these two lower strips connecting to one receiver. These two upper strips and these two lower strips connecting to another receiver. That's just so that when you press C1, both receivers are receiving the signal for C1 and outputting it, so you get this whole run lighting at once, because the receivers will indiscriminately receive a signal and output it to their C1 port. Hope that makes sense. I think you understand this thing, but just to run through that, your controls will directly control each light. They'll also dim, so you can turn individual lights on and off that way. Once you've got a setting, if you were to want just the top two, for example, you can save that. These are the overall setting buttons. You save that by holding for 5 seconds until there's a flicker off and on. See, that means that that has been saved to S2, and then that just allows you to switch between favoured settings, which can include which ones are on or off and how dimmed they are. So that was already saved, that's the one that I just saved, and that's another one. The overall power button turns it off and on to the last saved settings, and will also should dim the whole thing globally. So I think that's about it really. I hope that makes some sense. As I said, if you have any issues, feel free to ring me and I can bring up the technical documents in front of me. I did leave you with the technical diagrams that explain a lot of what I've said. So yeah, I hope that's helpful.